Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. Live Music Nation Podcast Festival Edition. Today is special because we are going, we're going outside of the continental US. Today we're with Fede Hernandez. He is the owner of the Rum Lab, and they host rum festivals not only in Puerto Rico, but also in the US. Fede, thanks for coming on with us today. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Thank you. Good morning or good day.
Give us a little background on you. Where did you grow up? And then how did you become the entrepreneur of so many festivals?
So I'm originally from Puerto Rico. I was there until I was 30 years. Before that, in the entertainment business, um, I believe almost everybody who's in the entertainment business should be somewhere or another a little bit extroverted. And then my parents left me. My mom went for Europe for a month, and I decided to do a house party. And then I was like 16. I made $1,000 that night after paying all the bands, everything. I'm like, I'm never gonna clean a car again. And all I wanted was money to go surfing to different destinations. So that's how it started and became a very big business. What I did learn through the process is that you need to create your own proprietary event. It's very easy to someone call, hey, Kenny Chesley, or or any singer say like, your event is going to be only mine, because the artists at the end, they want more money, and it's understandable. So you don't have, that's not yours. So if you want something, you have to build your own event that has its own attraction. Years later, there was an opportunity to start. I bought 3 restaurants, and I was like, wait, Puerto Rico is the rum capital of the world. Why? Because we produce the biggest amount of rum in the world, just like Kentucky is the whiskey capital of the world, because of the majority of the bourbon is created in Kentucky. But the same thing happens in Puerto Rico. And then so we didn't have neither a rum bar nor a rum festival. So I started both.
Man, that's incredible. I love what you said about when you first decided this was something you wanted to get into. It wasn't about the money. It's that you wanted to do something with the money. Lots of people can start a business to create a money, but you had a purpose for your money, and for you that was to go surfing, and you needed that. Like that works when you've got that as a driver. And it's definitely going to succeed because you've got a purpose for your money. So that's very cool. All right, let's talk a little bit about the festivals. When we mentioned Chicago and New York and LA and Kentucky, and when a person comes on site to one of your rum festivals, what does it look like? What are they going to experience?
All right, so there's 2 types of events that I do. There's the event or maybe 3. Let's talk about the first rum festival that I started was the Puerto Rico Rum Festival. And this was almost 15 years ago. Everything has evolved significantly, but Puerto Rico at that time wanted more, the market wanted more of festive events, music, dancing, culinary, lots of cocktails. And we've been doing that for many years. And actually, this is now going to our 12th anniversary in Puerto Rico. We haven't been able to do the rum festival, even though we started 15 years ago. COVID, different things that have happened during the way, we haven't been able to do the 15 years. But this year, we're promoting and bringing in the educational part, which is how we do most of our rum festivals in the U.S. Even though I use the word festivals, they're more like a congress. They're like, you go there, you learn about the quality of the different categories of rum. There's so much more in the world than the traditional rums that we have, which are great, which are like the Bacardi, Captain Morgan, Sailor Jerry, and maybe another brand, or Malibu at the bars. Those are primary SKUs in many of the bars around the nation, but there's so much more, and there's great rums that you just enjoy. You want to sip it. You want to either enjoy with a nice piece of cold ice, or you want it on a cocktail, and that could vary completely.
What makes a liqueur rum? What is the qualifications to be called a rum?
So rum is made, the most important thing is that it is a product made out of sugar cane. That's the core. And then after that, you can break it into 4 sections. There could be rum made out of molasses, rum made out of sugar cane, which is raw sugar, rum made out of sugarcane juice, or rum made out of sugarcane honey. And I got many rums back here that I can explain how all those rums are made.
That's fantastic. So really, your festivals are what we're finding out the world is really is about, and that is about community. It's about people with like interests, or people who want to get into the industry or want to learn more about rum. Your festivals are going to be for everybody, because there's the educational aspect. There's, I'm assuming, food and food vendors, and yes, I'm assuming from your Puerto Rico, you got to have some entertainment at your events. So there's a little bit of everything for everybody there. But what you're finding is that the educational component in the United States, people want to learn. They want to learn how to make their own. They want to learn what they're tasting. And we're kind of seeing that in every industry, whether it be breweries or wine. You've just taken a market that isolates rum and are finding that the community is there. Now, as for you as a, it's a lot of this sounds like it's in your heritage. You know, Puerto Rico is known for rum. I'm sure that your family had, you know, something to do with this. You probably hope that your children and future generations will carry it on. So obviously, not only this is about community, but this is about your heritage as well. Am I right?
It is. I'm writing a book that's supposed to be published now in 2023 that talks about the history of Puerto Rican rum and the rum and sugar industry. And something that I did find out that my great grandparents had. It's called centrales, which is, in other words, like a plantation. It's an awkward word because in Puerto Rico, plantation doesn't mean that you had a slave. It just means that you had a sugarcane plantation, a coffee plantation, and you had a farm, right?
Yep.
And then, so my family did work for that. One of them lost it all and actually died because of like it didn't go the way he wanted it. And then my other great grandfather, he was more like a poet, and so it's interesting. So yes, the answer is yes. It's been in my heritage. It's in my DNA, and especially in Puerto Rico, I think rum is inside our DNA ever since you're like born. So I think our island has 3 million people, around 3 million people, and between the rum brands that we have in Puerto Rico, over almost 1 million cases are sold of rum a year.
Wow, fantastic. Okay, so let's talk specifically about Chicago. All right, let's talk about the event and the festival there. When is that held? Where is it held? Let's start with those two details.
Yeah, so the next festival, in the U.S. is the Chicago Rum Festival. That's taking place on April 23rd at the Logan Square Auditorium. The website is chicagorumfest.com, and then it's primarily focused on. So we've been doing it in a really cool place, Logan Square Auditorium, and so we have different components. We have like when the event starts, which is like the VIP session and the trade session, and that is more for rum connoisseurs or rum geeks or people in the industry. And then it evolves to a festival that is for general admission, and that's when we start putting music, and we have more like a fun party scene. But regardless, I want to be clear, we've prioritized on the education versus the music. The music is a component. So you have to understand this is over 160 types of rums you can taste on or expressions. It's very easy to get drunk, and that is not the idea. And then it is gonna happen, but how do you minimize people going crazy? So and the way we do it is avoid it to become too much of a party. It's like of course there's food, a lot of hydration, and pours are very small. So we could do a quarter of an ounce pour. But it's like if you're able to do all those expressions, and I think it's even impossible to try all the rums. And it's limited. It's actually limited to 400 people.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Except the one in the US that's always been around 3,000 people.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Very good. Well, listen, I always ask these two questions at every interview that I do because I am in entertainment. That's how this whole thing got started. And you've probably seen a lot of concerts in your lifetime. But I want to know what's the best concert you've ever seen in your entire life today?
So actually, Jake, I didn't tell you this, but I organize concerts here in Seattle, where I'm based out of. I bring Latino artists here to Seattle, either the Moore Theater or the WAMU Theater. Let's say, but I remember when I was very young, probably like 12 or 11 years old, I went to see a concert for a Latino singer called Chayanne. And at the Caribe Hilton in Puerto Rico, which actually was the first international Hilton that Conrad Hilton ever opened. And I was so amazed about like the stage and the music, the lights, the people dancing, and I was like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. So that has been like that really impact my soul. And then another concert that I've liked a lot. I remember taking my daughter to see Katy Perry.
Oh, yeah.
Which I really like her production. Yeah. How she had all these inflatable things everywhere flying. I love Coldplay. Actually, Coldplay was the first concert that I go that they gave a color wristband to everybody. And right. This was like 6 years ago. And those was pretty innovation at that time, right? And everybody, you didn't even have to raise your cell phone. Everything was done through your wristband that changes colors based on the music, and that was really cool.
No, that is very cool. Okay, you could bring any one act, dead or alive, to the United States at one of your festivals, just one of them, dead or alive. Who would you bring?
Bob Marley.
Bob Marley, man, I thought you were going to say somebody like, I don't know. But anyways, that's perfect. Bob Marley would be great as it goes through there. Fede, how do people find out more about your festivals in Puerto Rico and the U.S.?
The best way is therumlab.com. But I made all my websites very easy. It's like you go to chicagorumfest.com, New York Rum Festival, LA Rum Festival, San Francisco Rum Festival, Puerto Rico Rum Festival. So all those domains are very easy. Yeah. And that's how Google recognizes them as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being on with us and telling us about the rum festivals going on. I appreciate it greatly.
All right. Thank you, Jake.
Hey, you're welcome.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of